Shri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Today in Prabhu Prarthana, Shri Gurudev preaches in the second line of this couplet thus: करे निरंतर ध्यान आपका प्रेम से गुणगण गावे. Meaning, O Lord, let my mind constantly meditate on your divinity and sing thy glorious attributes with love, devotion, and unwavering dedication. In the above line of the prayer, the two most important words are Nirantar, that is constant, and Prem, that is love. Bhagwan Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 10, verse 10 says, Tesham satat yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayanti te. Shri Krishna says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Shri Gurudev explains this principle here. With meditation and dhyan and total surrender, the aspirant can definitely reach the ultimate and highest platform of dhyan, that is samadhi, which is a transcendental stage beyond sleep and wakefulness and complete absorption in God consciousness. How can we balance the effect of pure and impure atoms, the changing vibrations around us when we work for 24 hours? Meditation for 1 or 2 hours cannot wipe out all the debris that gets accumulated so quickly in us. What should we do? Shri Gurudev has a surefire remedy for us. He says, Raho koi sa bhi tham, karo koi sa bhi kam, par japo aanthon yam, Shri Ram, Ram, Ram. Meaning, anywhere, everywhere, chant the holy name of Ram. Dhyan or meditation can be done in 2 ways. 1. Sagun Sakar. It signifies the Supreme Incarnated Lord who has spiritual transcendental attributes or qualities. Nirgun Nirakar signifies the Supreme Infinite Lord beyond all attributes and transcends material bondage or boundaries. However, we have got to understand that before dhyan, the busy, calculative intellect or buddhi has to be subdued and quietened to be able to concentrate fully. Sakar dhyan means to meditate upon the image or statue of your personal deity, that is your Ishtadev, a deity who has been incarnated on earth. We should be inspired by his divine qualities to uplift us and help us in the journey of the evolution of our soul. Nirgun Nirakar Dhyan does not take support of any deity. It is meditation where the aspirant tries to explore the inner realms of his own being and slowly rises to a level where he finds himself one with the Absolute, his brilliance all-pervading, being permeated with ultimate sublime bliss. He becomes oblivious to the world around him. The navel heart and the trikuti, that is the space between the two eyebrows, are the three centers to concentrate upon in dhyan. Since this is a difficult form of dhyan, Gurudev has advised his followers to practice Sakar Dhyan because it has an easy support system of name and chanting the holy name. Gurudev has given us certain guidelines for the practice of Sagun Sakar meditation. He has said thus: sit in front of your Ishtadev statue or image in a quiet place and try to withdraw your mind from worldly thoughts, anxieties, and worries. Place the picture or image of your beloved God on a table so that it is at a height of about your one hand, that is from elbow till the top of the middle finger, plus one span of your palm. Similarly, place your mat or asan on the floor away from the table with the same measurements. This helps to keep your spinal column straight and your eyes in direct line with the deity's eyes. Now, try to recall God's endless favors upon you, His love for His devotees, and His tender, compassionate attributes. Thank Him for His blessings and be content with whatever He has gifted you. Get totally engrossed in your prayer. Forget the world. Try to forget even yourself. When you are permeated with such intense devotion, you might find yourself weeping with love and incomparable joy. This is the time to believe you are suffused with the color of pure devotion. Look ardently at the beautiful image of God for 3 to 4 minutes. Then close your eyes and try to place the image on your eyelids. When the image remains still on your eyelids, try to place the same in your heart. Chant the holy name or mantra mentally throughout the process. Now you have to learn to activate your Ishtadev. In meditation, it is difficult to mentally create an actual complete image in your mind. You can open your eyes to take a glimpse of the image in front of you and start afresh. As soon as you are successful in holding the image of the Lord in your heart, try to dispel the extraneous thoughts that arise in the mind and to mentally circumambulate around the image. This way, you benefit from darshan, that is imagined mystical appearance, japa, that is chanting, and parikrama, that is circumambulation. We have to constantly remember, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे रोम रोम में बसे है राम. जहाँ कहीं देखूं वहाँ राम जी की माया, सब जगह छाई है राम जी की छाया. मेरे मन की मूर्तिया में बसे हैं राम, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम. If the mind cannot control the wandering senses, it cannot practice meditation or remain steady. The Supreme Soul dwelling within us is like the latent and invisible fire in wood. In chapter 18, verse 61, the Bhagavad Gita says, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesherjun tishtati, meaning, O Arjuna, The Supreme Lord dwells in everyone's heart and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as if on a machine made of material energy. Just as the latent fire inside the wood is incapable of igniting itself, the invisible God inside us cannot inflict pain on us or gift us pleasure. But if a kindled flame is placed on a log of wood, it will catch fire and burn immediately. Similarly, through dhyan, the image of our deity has to be slowly directed towards us, to be placed in our souls. The mingling of the soul with the image of God will activate the dormant energy of the Holy Spirit within us. It will activate to remove the curtain of darkness inside us. In the villages, the woman householder first ignites the twigs and then fans them. A choking smoke arises as soon as the fire is placed on wood, burning and watering the eyes. The undeterred housewife continues fanning the fire. Wet twigs expel more smoke than dry ones. The twigs ignite with huge flames as soon as they get dry. Similarly, when we meditate, we fan our thoughts with japa or holy chants. The knots of resentment, anger, jealousy, and vanity start unwinding in the mind, and our sins start burning, relaxing the tired mind. The smoke, which is the expulsion of our sins, accumulated over many births, almost chokes us. Latent invisible vasanas, that is strong desires, lusts, hinder dhyan and elude joy in sadhana and contemplation. Sinful negative thoughts weaken the mind and make it vulnerable to material conceptions. Be undeterred by this. Continue with japa. Recall your mind to the Lord's image with love and patience. With continuous effort, that is nirantar, the invisible God inside you, who was till now impartial, neutral, and a witness to your struggle for liberation, will awaken and help you to dispel all chaos and anxiety, to later merge himself with his own being and motivate you towards your goal. Meditation should be done with utmost understanding. To achieve your goal in a stable mind, you have to free your mind from all worldly encumbrances. Dhyan is an excellent instrument to condition the wandering mind. Shri Gurudev has said, कोई भी साधन हो, सब में नामावलंबन लेना जरूरी है. भगवान के नामाधार बिना एकाग्रता तो आएगी, पर साथ में शुष्कता भी आ जाएगी और तकलीफ पड़ेगी. साधना में लगन चाहिए, व्याकुलता चाहिए. मन के साथ जबरदस्ती न करो. जब तुम ध्यान करने या प्रार्थना करने बैठो, तब दृष्टा भाव रखकर मन में उठते हुए विचारों को और मन की दौड़ को देखते रहो. कुछ समय पश्चात मन को धीरे से समझाकर वापस साधना में लगाने का अभ्यास करो. कड़ी धूप में आंगन में खेल रहे बच्चे को माँ समझा बुझाकर वापस घर में लाती है और फिर दरवाज़ा बंद कर देती है। मन को ठीक इसी प्रकार संभालो। जबरदस्ती करने जाओगे तो मन और भी तेजी से संसार की ओर भागेगा। In any type of meditation, Naam Jap is absolutely necessary. Without support of Naam, that is holy name, concentration can be achieved, but with difficulty, followed by a feeling of disinterest, that is sushkata. Sadhana demands total dedication and an eagerness to know yourself and the Supreme Soul. Do not try force to control the mind. During sadhana, prayer or chanting hymns, follow the thoughts arising in your mind and having noticed them, banish them and get back to God. For example, in summer, a mother convinces her child who is playing outside the house to return home from the scorching heat of the sun, then shuts the door so that he cannot escape. Take care of the mind. Do not control it, lest it might rebel and be tempted to run faster and faster towards the world. When the mind vacillates between vice and virtue, learn to mother the mind. When the intellect plays the mother's role properly, the mind behaves and grows up. Let the intellect soothe and lullaby it, fondle and dandle it, chide it when it strays. Let the mind grow up to partake of the bliss of Anand or Brahma and achieve union with God. To achieve this, there is no need to renounce the world for the jungles or mountains. Who knows, you might start thinking of your loved ones and possessions even there. Such a sadhana has no meaning, no accomplishment. Do not leave the world, but cut off the tags attached to it. Learn not to cling to persons and possessions. Be like the lotus, which thrives in the mud, grows in the lake, and leaves the mud to rise above its waters, yet remains aloof and uncontaminated by it. When we suck the sugarcane, the mind hears the crunching sound, and the tongue savors its sweetness. The mind even remembers to spit out the roughage. Similarly, if the mind is immersed in the image of God and japa, it will remember to throw out the vices in it, to enable it to be enveloped in His glory alone. First, it was I, you, and action. Then, it was you and I. Lastly, it is you and just you. Dhyan clears the mind of worldly thoughts or attachments. Goswamiji in the Vinay Patrika says, O Lord, the place of my heart is your perennial abode. The dacoits of vanity, hypocrisy, deceit, envy, and anger have invaded and looted your abode. They have made my mind their comfort zone. O dear Lord, hear me, wake up, accept my ardent appeal, and chase these terrorists away. God is waiting for the heart to be totally receptive and empty of all thoughts. The mind is sleeping and lethargic. It is unaware of the eternal guidance within. We have to awaken it to the presence of God in us, who is a witness to our actions. He is neutral and impartial and will intervene only when called. Prayer and meditation will take us closer to God and activate Him inside us and help us to attain our goal. We are reminded of Draupadi, who, when about to be disrobed by Dushasana, sought help from courtiers, elders, and her 5 husbands. No one came to her rescue. Lord Krishna, though aware of everything, remained a silent spectator, totally indifferent, until Draupadi earnestly called him to save her from her oppressors. In Manasji, Goswamiji says, राम ही केवल प्रेम प्यारा जानी लेहु जो जान निहारा. Shri Gurudev has also endorsed the view that God should be invoked by singing hymns in His praise or chanting His name with utmost love and affection. If Nirakar Dhyan is difficult and Sakar Dhyan may seem ritualistic, the simple name of God is the easiest way to attain Him. Naam Jap, Mantra Jap, and singing hymns are the simplest, most authentic, effective, and powerful forms of worship in the present age, that is the Kali Yuga. While chanting the name of God, the aspirant should be impatient to see His image or visualize Him inside his heart. To attain this, the contemplator in pursuit of God should be zealous like the fish that craves for water but prefers to writhe and die in agony if it is taken out of water. When I turn the beads of the rosary or japmala, my mind turns towards the world. With such a state of mind, you can never progress in sadhana. An air conditioner cannot function to its full capacity to keep the room cool if the doors or windows are open. The heater functions in the same way. The generous Lord comforts us during the summers and winters of our life. We simply have to cajole Him through hymns and prayers, showing our undying love for Him. We have to shut the doors and windows of our mind to the temptations of the world and keep the ceiling of our pride and ego low. Bow to Him with reverence and humility. Do not let your love be divided by leaving any room in your heart for worldly desires. When you pray, the Lord Almighty demands total attention and complete faith. He does not like to accept you with compartments in your heart. Mind you, He is very, very possessive. The devotee should get immersed in God love while invoking his Upasya Dev, that is his personal deity, and dispel any doubt regarding the inanimate nature of the stone statue. Be totally convinced that He is the superpower, the supersoul, and the supreme creator of the universe. He is the only one who also resides in your heart. Then, can He not incarnate Himself in human form? After death, though the body takes another form, the mind remains the same. Thus, the mind plays a pivotal role in rebirth and death, in bondage and salvage. Lord Krishna says thus, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The water which solidifies mud also helps to clean it. The mind steeped in material world will bind itself to it, whereas the same mind immersed in love of God will slowly and gracefully move towards complete emancipation. To keep the copper pot stain-free and sparkling always, we have to scrub and polish it daily. Once the trained mind calms down, dhyan, nam jap and singing hymns will help to maintain its purity by continuously being in communion with Him. So affirm our scriptures. God Himself is Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. An impure mind cannot reach Him. Every precious moment of our life and every action should be filled with thoughts of godliness anywhere, everywhere. All that God needs from you is love that is continuously flowing. Love that is unconditional. Love that is undying. True love which rises to unite with the supreme lover of all beings, because love is the most sublime experience for man. Concluding this couplet, the aspirant prays to God to vanquish all sinful or wild thoughts that play havoc with his mind, banish them even in his dreams, and motivate him always to be in God remembrance. Prayer and meditation will roast the contaminations of the mind, never to sprout or bear fruit again. We are in this world to behave ourselves, not to change others. Reform yourself and you will reform thousands. The aspirant tells the God, condition my mind thus. Shri Sadgurudev ki Jai.